Last week, if you remember, our gospel had three parables. One, the weeds and the wheat, the mustard seed and the yeast in the dough. And the weeds and the wheat really stuck with me because Jesus was telling us that we're not to pull out the weeds because you might pull the wheat out as well. That'll be for them to worry about at the end of time. And at the end of time, the harvest comes. They gather up the weeds and bundle it to be burned. It can even become fuel. And the wheat will be harvested. And it's like, when something hits you over the head again and again and again, and you finally get it. So we get three more parables today. And the third is kind of the weeds and the wheat in different imagery. The net is so full, and everything is in it. Everything is in it. And then the next line after what we read today, the angels will come at the end of time and separate the good from the bad. It's not our job. And that's a challenge to me because I hear Jesus saying this is for everybody. And sometimes the kingdom, even when somebody may start out bad, as it were, may start out not really accepting the kingdom, just like that yeast or that they might recognize that precious pearl and embrace the values of the kingdom. And sometimes we learn even that, we learn from the other, as Paul says to the Romans, all things work for good for those who love God. That's why I think it's such a privilege to be part of this parish and part of Windsor, where we have such incredible multiculturalism. We have the people from this area who were the indigenous from hundreds of years ago, and then the French settlers from 300 years ago, and then the different waves of immigration in Eastern Europe and the Italians in the 1950s, and then from all other parts of the world, from Asia and the Middle East and from Africa, all of this contributing to an incredible makeup. It's so easy for me to surround myself with people who look like me, who talk like me, who think like me, who have the same political views, who like the same foods, and I'm never challenged to grow. And the challenge that I hear is that we are to be welcoming and open. God will sort out who belongs and who doesn't belong at the end of time. And in the meantime, we just pray for the wisdom, as Solomon prayed for, the wisdom to know how to fully embrace and live the values of the kingdom, how we can fully embrace God's law and learn to love it, as the psalmist says, Lord, how I love your law.